Your diploma is the key that unlocks the door, allowing you to pursue success in numerous career choices. So get with the program, master the hardware and learn the software, or just go nowhere. You already know how to operate one of these, so call Davenport College Career Center and get with the program.
Live from Wood TV 8, West Michigan's news leader, Suzanne Jiha, Linda White, meteorologist Craig James, and Heather Herron with health. This is 24-hour News 8.
Michigan officials say if the tobacco companies are going to profit from selling a product that makes people sick, they ought to pick up the tab for smoking-related illnesses. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Tom Van Hout, filling in for Suzanne Jiha. Referring to tobacco companies as merchants of death, Attorney General Frank Kelly announced today the state of Michigan is going to sue major tobacco companies for more than $14 billion. News 8's Laurel Hess was in Lansing as the announcement was made this morning and joins us now from the newsroom. Hi, Laurel.
Hi, Tom. This is an historic first for Michigan. We're now the 13th state in the country to file suit against the tobacco industry. The Attorney General announced today he intends to hold the tobacco companies responsible for their role in addicting Michigan citizens to cigarettes. And he intends to recoup Medicaid costs associated with smoking-related illnesses. The $14 billion lawsuit alleges that the tobacco companies are killing millions of Americans and that they're suppressing the truth that cigarettes are addictive, all the while costing state taxpayers millions in health care costs each year.
Indigent and disadvantaged Michigan citizens entitled to Medicaid benefits from the state have contracted smoking-related diseases, including cancer, emphysema, and heart disease. The care and treatment of these Michigan citizens has placed a significant financial burden on Michigan citizens, but it rightfully should be borne by the cigarette manufacturers and their allied interests.
Ironically, most of the smokers we talked to today agree with Kelly's position. They say after the first cigarette, smoking is no longer a personal choice, but an addiction. And they say tobacco companies should pay. As for how much taxpayers will pay to fund this fight, the Attorney General says not a cent. The two attorneys working for the state have agreed to work pro bono, unless, of course, they win the case. We're live in the newsroom. Laurel Hess, News 8.
Laurel, if they do win the case, do we have any idea how they get recompensed, how they get paid for their time?
We don't know, except for that they will get a good chunk of that money. Yes.
If they get billions and get a normal percentage, it could be up to a third. I just wonder if we should find out.
Yeah, a lot of money if they win, but they have agreed again not to take any taxpayer money if they lose.
All right. Thank you, Laurel. And, of course, coming up in just a few minutes, front and center tonight, Michigan versus the tobacco companies. Should cigarette makers pay for the cost of smoking-related illnesses? We want to know what you think. Give us a call at 771-0888. Well, Dr. Jack Kevorkian has done it again, number 36. Louise Stevens reportedly suffered from Lou Gehrig's disease, and she traveled from Michigan to Michigan from Texas with her daughter and son-in-law to meet with the so-called Doctor of Death. Kevorkian took the woman's body to Pontiac Osteopathic Hospital last night. Oakland County medical examiners will perform an autopsy later today. Two drivers are facing criminal charges in separate accidents that killed someone. One of those men is 33-year-old Wayne Winchester. A judge charged Winchester with negligent homicide in an accident that killed 46-year-old Jose Cesotis. Winchester was driving a gravel truck when he ran a red light at the intersection of 68th and Kalamazoo. His truck smashed into Cesotis' car and killed him. Thomas Peak is facing the same charge, negligent homicide, for an accident that killed 22-year-old Christy Lortie last month. Peak was driving a semi when he slammed into Lortie's car on I-96 near Lowell. Lortie was trapped in her car when it caught fire and she died at the scene. Both men could get 2 years in jail and/or a $2,000 fine. The United States is breaking a record this year as millions of children head back to school. Secretary of Education Richard Riley announced today that more than 50 million kids are headed back to school this fall. That number includes public and private school and tops enrollment records set as long ago as 25 years. In the next 10 years, the number of children enrolled in public and private schools is expected to surge to 54 million. The baby boomers are having school-age babies is what it amounts to. Officials estimate it'll take an additional 190,000 teachers and 6,000 new schools to meet the coming demand. Your kids might be too busy talking to eat their hot lunch at school, and they might not like what they find on their tray. Kids are throwing out, apparently, what's good for them. 42% of the cooked vegetables served in schools end up in the trash can. Number 2 is raw vegetables, followed by fresh fruits. The foods least likely to be scrapped are bread and milk. Well, we're going to check in with Craig James now, get a first look at our weather. Hi, Craig. How you doing?
Hello there, Tom. Welcome back from California.
Oh, thank you very much.
And we do have a pretty decent evening here in western Michigan, although it's a little on the muggy and warm side. Temperatures made it to 90 down in the southern part of the viewing area today. But no rain here today. Let's take a look at our satellite picture, and you will be able to see there are some showers and thunder showers close to us, however. This is the old frontal system that went through here yesterday, and the cold front, I think, is right down and through here, and then it turns into a warm front back through this general area of Wisconsin and up to a pretty strong low pressure center out here in North Dakota with cold front into here. Biggest thunderstorms, of course, are up across northern Minnesota and southwestern Ontario. There's even a tornado watch up for this section of the state of Minnesota this evening. That does not include anything here in our area, of course, but we do have a couple of thunderstorms down in through here. Those are moving southeast along the front. That will not affect us, but there are a few more that have developed here in southwest Wisconsin. And as this front generally lifts off towards the north during the night tonight, I think we're going to have to include a chance of a thunder shower here in southwestern Michigan late tonight. There's some indication that these will grow and become a little more numerous a little later on. And then tomorrow, as this front approaches, even better chance of some showers and thunderstorms. And some of those could be heavy. We'll have to keep an eye out on that. So in the meantime, there's my forecast. We're going out this evening. It'll be dry. Partly cloudy, kind of warm and muggy. Dew points are up around 70 in most spots from Grand Rapids and Muskegon south. Temperatures will be falling down to around 68 to 72 by 11 p.m. Sunset about 8:37. After 11, partly cloudy. We'll throw in a chance of a thunder shower late tonight. Not a big chance, at least not yet. Lows about 65 to 70, and the wind will become light and southerly later on. Then tomorrow, variable cloud cover. A few showers and thunderstorms. It won't rain all day. Some places may only see one line go through during the day. Highs mid to upper 80s and a southwest wind to 10 to 18. Out on Lake Michigan, variable breeze, waves calm to a foot. Water temp 69 in Muskegon to 72 in South Haven, 67 the cool spot in Holland. So there are some parts of our viewing area that, believe it or not, still need a good bit of rain. Hopefully we'll see some of that around here during the day tomorrow. And then a real nice day coming up for Friday.
And we ought to have a great weekend, too.
I think so, yes.
That's terrific. Okay,
You
see you in a little while.
Yep.
Coming up a little later on News 8, front and center, Michigan versus the tobacco industry. Should the tobacco companies be held responsible for the cost of smoking-related illnesses among the poor? Front and center. Call and talk about it. 771-0888.
I'm News 8 Healthbeat reporter Heather Herron. Coming up, the controversy over growth hormones.
I'm Susan Shaw. Coming up on News 8 at 5:30, Kevorkian assists in yet another suicide amid controversy over a woman he helped to die last week who did not suffer from a terminal illness. Plus, the Michigan parents accused of forcing their kids to beat each other up are out of jail tonight. And Dennis Rodman's strange secret wedding. Who will be this man's wife? Stay tuned. That and much more coming up on News 8 at 5:30.
This Sunday, 24-hour News 8's Tom Van Houw begins his live coverage from the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Michigan is a key state in the presidential election. Find out what the Democrats will do to get your vote and learn the role West Michigan will play at the convention. Plus, get interesting behind-the-scenes reports of convention activities. For a live local look at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, watch Sunday at 6 and 11 on 24-hour News 8. First, best, live.
No matter how high the thermometer climbs or how sticky the humidity gets, nothing will be hotter this summer than the deals you'll get during Jeep Summer Days, where you can lease Jeep Grand Cherokee for just $299 a month, or lease Cherokee Sport for $219 a month, including no charge air. And get deals that are truly steamy on the all-new Jeep Wrangler. But you'd better hurry in, because deals this incredibly hot are bound to cool down fast.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer. Cute dog.
But he smells bad.
Take care of nasty pet odors with BioPet, a revolutionary new product that eliminates unwanted aromas. It'll eliminate skunk odor, litter box odor, even the lingering odor from pet urine on carpet and furniture. BioPet destroys the bacteria that causes odor. Spray it directly on your dog or cat. It's non-toxic and completely safe. BioPet. To order, call now. 1-800-650-1101. Have Visa or MasterCard ready. Once again, 1-800-650-1101.
Here at Post, we figure we're a lot like the rest of you. We get up too early, we work a little too hard. Then we try to have something left for the really important stuff. So for us, Energy for Life isn't just a slogan for grape nuts, it's for real. Ray over there, he likes to remind us that a serving of grape nuts has about twice as many carbs as Wheaties, even if there is no famous athlete on the box. Everyone have their grape nuts today? Apparently not.
This portion of News 8 is brought to you by Art Van.
In tonight's Healthbeat report, doctors may be prescribing growth hormones to children who don't need it. Heather Herron joins us now with details of a brand new study. Hi.
Hi. 14,000 kids here in the U.S. do have a clear-cut deficiency in growth hormone, and those kids fall under the FDA's guidelines for treatment with a synthetic growth hormone. But an article in this week's New England Journal of Medicine found that some doctors prescribe hormones to children who may not really need it. Doctors say out of every 100 kids evaluated for growth problems, only 5 to 10% would benefit from hormone therapy.
Amazing how many calls we get from parents who want us to give growth hormone in situations where we certainly do not feel it is appropriate.
Hormone therapy increases growth for about 90% of patients, but its potential side effects are still unknown. There's a new device out there for women suffering incontinence. The FDA has just approved the Reliance Urinary Control Insert, a tampon-like device that forms a plug to block urine leakage. It should be available in pharmacies sometime before January, but the FDA warns that Reliance is not risk-free. It says 44% of women who use it will develop a urinary tract infection within the first year. The first head-to-head comparison of the nation's two most popular medicines for prostate trouble found that one gives significant relief while the other is virtually worthless. The study found that Hytrin eases men's discomfort by about 1/3. Proscar works no better than dummy sugar pills. Both are taken by millions of older men to relieve the symptoms of an enlarged prostate gland. Well, prostate cancer isn't a new disease, but for the first time, the American Cancer Society and the Cancer Research Institute are teaming up against one of the deadliest diseases among men. There are new initiatives to find effective treatments, including cancer vaccines, radioimmunotherapy, and the possible use of antibiotics. The cancer groups recommend that every man over age 40 have a digital rectal exam yearly. And those who have a history of it need to get that PSA blood test for early detection of cancer.
There's a history of, particularly if it runs in their family.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
if their father has had it or their uncle has had it.
Okay, thank you, Heather.
You're welcome.
Coming up next, living at home.
Financially, right now, it's not the time for me to be on my own.
It's getting to be a trend. More and more 20-somethings are living at home after college. We'll meet a couple of them next in our Lifestyles Report.
This Wednesday, go completely wild and do not pay for 1 full year at Art Van's Wild Wednesday sale. Art Van will be closed till 4 p.m. to make additional markdowns. Then the doors open for 7 wild hours of 25 to 70% savings store-wide. Plus, save an extra 20% off the sale price of all floor samples. All with no down payment, no interest, and no payments for 1 full year. Don't miss Wild Wednesday.
We do for you at Art Van.
While every other cereal is busy telling you how cheap they are, Chex would like to take a moment to remind you how good we are. We know that's a different approach, but then nothing else is a Chex.
Well, come on, take lovers, lend me your ears. Ponderosa's been your steakhouse for 30 years. Just to show a little appreciation, we're bringing you a great steak celebration, yeah!
Ponderosa's famous charbroiled sirloin tips with buttery mushrooms and onions. For a limited time, just 99 cents when you get a buffet and Sunday bar at the regular price.
It's a steak sensation that's sweeping the nation. Ponderosa's great steak celebration.
Come on and let me show you where it's at. Come on, a brand new Ford is in your grasp. Come on, you'll only find these deals at your Greater Michigan Ford dealer. I like it like that.
You'll really like Ford's factory authorized clearance. Lease a new 96 Contour GL with automatic transmission and more for only $199 a month. Or get $1,000 cash back on a new 96 Taurus.
Come on, you'll always find great deals at your Greater Michigan Ford dealer. I like it like that.
I carry in my mind the picture of a child who was never born, a child I aborted, a picture that changes as the years go by. I imagine him growing tall with dark hair and eyes. Again and again, my mind returns to that ghost of a child who would have been 12 this spring. If you think abortion is an easy choice, that you can just forget about it, it's not true. You can't.
New college graduates are at that incredibly important crossroads right now in their lives. Is it time to move on or stay on their own, or stay home and continue living off their parents? Well, it's harder to leave these days. According to the Census Bureau, people aged 25 to 34 earn 20% less than their parents did in the 1970s. So many in so-called Generation X are living with mom and dad now after college. Brenda Butner introduces us to a few of them in this Lifestyles Report.
For these three Generation Xers, home is something very different.
I'm getting old enough, they want me to move out and move on with my life.
Financially, right now, it's not the time for me to be on my own.
Living alone for me is it seems like it's become very expensive for the amount of money that I make.
Three 20-somethings, three different lifestyles. Kelly lives on her own, pushed to move out of her parents' house when a job offer in another state was too good to refuse. But as she's learned, living on your own can sometimes mean living paycheck to paycheck with little ability to save.
It's totally depleting it. Basically, from the amount of money that I make, I probably only put, I would say, less than $20 in savings per paycheck into the bank because that's all I have left.
When Joanne graduated from college, she moved out on her own at first, but her job as a flight attendant moved her right back in with Mom.
Basically made more sense for me to move back because it was just kind of like, I'm in the country maybe like 12 days out of the month, or 14 half the month, and to pay rent is just stupid. But I know a lot of people at my job do it, but I'd rather have more money in my pocket than somebody else's.
I moved out like 3 years ago, and I moved out for like a year, and I kind of ran out of money, and I moved back home.
But while Greg lives at home now, in about a year he's getting married, and that translates to big money for the ceremony and also for the house he and his fiancée plan to move into.
We're going to start looking in January for a house, and hopefully the whole wedding will be paid off by then.
While their situations are all very different, they do have one thing in common: the need to start saving as soon as possible for their future.
And experts say that the best way is to pay yourself first. Try to save 10% at the very minimum. And if you really try, you can come very close to that or better all the time. Coming up, news at 8, front and center, Michigan versus the tobacco industry. Should the cigarette makers be forced to pick up the tab for health problems caused by smoking? Front and center. Call and talk about it, 771-0888.
My name's Jack Holliday. I decided to spend the evening alone. Actually, someone decided for me. I was about to nurse my wounds with smoked ham on dill onion bread and a soft blanket of Miracle Whip, but I was out. Mail. Thought I got rid of this. Annie.
He's offering?
Your timing's perfect. Now I had the kind of sandwich a guy could really fall for. With a third less fat than mayo and that tangy zip, nothing makes a sandwich like Miracle Whip.
Don't.
Today, students in public schools are doing more than ever before. Be proud of your kids. Be true to your schools. Public education works.
Okay. Who'd like to start?
I'm Carl. I sleep on a little cowboy bed I've had ever since I was a kid.
Hi, Carl. I'm Beth, and I sleep on an old bed that my grandma threw out. Hi, Dad.
Ashamed of your bed? Get a Big Sur waterbed. You'll sleep better. Complete waterbeds start at just $173.
I'm Frank, and I'm being stalked by Martians?
That group's down the hall.
Big Sur waterbeds. Be unconventional.
Platter Decision 96. With 60% of Steak and Shake restaurants reporting, here are the up-to-the-minute results. There's still time to cast your vote.
Steak and Shake.
Mazda 96 got to go!
Every model, 0 down, 4.8, 14 days only.
Go!
Like Protege LX5.
Gotta go!
Power, air, music, this price.
Go!
These terms, 626 LX5. Power, air, music, this price.
Go!
Same terms.
Go!
14 days only.
Mazda 96 got to go!
begins September 3rd.
Front and center tonight, Michigan versus the tobacco industry. As we told you earlier in the newscast, Michigan is joining a dozen other states now in demanding that tobacco companies pick up the tab for Medicaid and Medicare patients who suffer from smoking-related illnesses. Joining us now to talk about the lawsuit is Dr. Tom Peterson. He's a local pediatrician who also goes to schools when he can, educating students on the effects and dangers of tobacco. Call and talk with him, front and center. The number is 771-0888. And Doctor, thanks for being with us. What was your reaction when you heard that Michigan was joining with a dozen states to do this?
Well, as a physician, I think this is the first time I've ever been actually thrilled about a lawsuit. I'm usually not too thrilled about lawsuits, but this is one that we're very excited about. We're very excited because that Michigan is joining the group that's been doing this for a couple of years, and it's a breakthrough. It's going to be, I think, a historical occasion. I think in the history books 20 years from now, this is all going to be a big part of our history that kids are going to be learning about in school. We have an incredibly huge industry that has created the largest healthcare epidemic in the history of our country and soon to be in the history of the world. And this is one of the few ways that we're going to be able to bring them down and make them accountable for what they have done to us.
All right, we've got lots of people that want to talk to you.
Okay.
So we'll get right started with Fred. You're on the air, Fred.
Hello, Tom.
Hi.
Pleasure to talk to you.
Hi,
well,
Fred.
my comment is the risks have been known for quite a few years on this. I quit 20 years ago because of it, and I feel better for it. But as far as them being liable, no, I don't think so, because people know what they're doing, and all you're doing is making the lawyers rich. So that's my comment.
What about, Fred, what about those people who become addicted to nicotine and they can't get off and they got into it innocently?
Well, I don't know. I didn't have no problem, really. I just decided to quit. Well, my father-in-law lost a lung from cancer from smoking. And that decided me. I just decided to quit right there, and I just quit. I just sucked on some hard candy, and that was about it, you know.
You're a lucky man.
Yeah, I think he's a lucky guy.
Yeah, you're a lucky man. You really are.
I think one thing to point out early, this is usually the first comment that we get about doing these lawsuits. It was actually my father-in-law. I was talking to him about this last night, and he had the same comment. What they're suing for here is this is not a lawsuit that is out to make big money. It is not out to make money for lawyers. It is not out to make money for, like a lot of the other frivolous lawsuits that we've been associated with. This is a lawsuit because we claim that it's either the tobacco company or the state is responsible for these problems. We lose about $200 million a year in Medicaid costs for people who are smoking, whether they want to or not, or whoever chose to do it in the first place. It might be the smoker's responsibility when they first start, that they chose to do it and they might know the risk. The fact is when they start going to surgery and they start having these medical costs, they don't pay for them. When they're on Medicaid and they have no insurance, they don't pay, we pay. So we pay out of our pockets as taxpayers.
Okay, we're going to move right along. Now, Irene, you're next on the air. Hi.
Well, yes. My comment is almost identical to the man before. My husband quit about 25 years ago. He says he still gets the urge. However, he says he knows it's not good for him. Now, you talk about addiction. I was given morphine in the hospital. That didn't addict me to morphine. I knew it wasn't good for me. So what? And if I had a pain after that, when I got home, I would have I could have asked the doctor or said something, well, I need more pain medication.
Right.
And that.
So you're saying it's just a matter of people taking charge of their lives?
No, that's true. Now, the only thing I'm saying is this. People are getting educated. I don't know how much more education can you give people the way we're being bombarded with all this education. The people that continue to smoke now, they should be responsible for their own thing, the fact that they are smoking.
Sure, and I agree with you 100%. The problem, what they were saying, is the people that are on Medicaid and have no insurance, whether they're responsible or not, it still costs $50,000 to go through some of these intensive care procedures that they have to undertake when they're 50 years old from smoking. And they do not pay for them, whether they're responsible or not. The taxpayers pay for them, and that's the purpose of this lawsuit. Another thing about the addiction thing that people have to understand when they talk about being addicted and they quit is it is 90% of people are addicted before they're old enough to really understand what's going on. They are children. They get this addiction before they really see the long-term consequences, and this is known to be the hardest drug to quit of any drug.
I've been there.
Any drug. And one of my favorite comparisons is the guys that came back from Vietnam that smoked and were addicted to heroin. 90% have quit heroin and 10% have quit smoking.
Interesting. Fascinating. Okay, Jim, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hi, Jim.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, Jim.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello? Go ahead. Okay, Shar, you're on the air.
Hi. Yeah, I think they ought to pay for it because my husband smoked for like 35 years up to a year ago, and when he had to have a laryngectomy because of smoking, he got cancer in his voice box.
How is he now?
He's got his up and down moments. He's still in a lot of pain. February, he had to have a bilateral neck dissection, which they removed his jugular vein on the left side of his neck and some of the muscles in his shoulder. And that's where he has a lot of his pain that's in the back of his neck.
Shar, is this one of those things that you never really thought about until it hit you?
Yeah, and I smoke, and I've tried, stopping, and I can't.
And the thing to understand is these are not just the diseases that people get from this 30 years after they start when they're 15 years old or so are horrible, horrible, devastating diseases, not just on the people, but on the people who live with them, the spouses, the children. It's a horrible epidemic that's been created. And the thing about this, when people talk about responsibility, the tobacco industries, we know now in the last year, since we've gotten a lot of information, they have known about the addictive qualities, and they've known what they've been doing for over 30 years. And they have, in the same time that we have been pushing this education, they have not helped and come along with us and said, okay, we're going to do less advertising to children. We're going to help with cessation.
Exactly what it did more.
They have quadrupled their amount of advertising dollars to $7 billion a year. And they're in a huge push of putting tobacco into the third world countries right now, where there's no education. So they are spreading their epidemic in a known way. They are a company that knows what they're doing, and this is what they're up to right now.
Thank you, Doctor. And Pam, you're next. You're on the air. Hi.
Hi. I was just wondering, I don't agree they should be responsible either. It's like, how far are you going to go? Alcohol is addictive and it's not good for you. Are they going to start suing the alcohol companies too then?
I've heard a lot of people express this particular point of view. What about the alcohol company?
Well, the difference with the alcohol, at least what I see the big difference, is about 90% of people who drink alcohol are not addicted to it. It is a problem that exists. It is a problem that it is a drug that is abused. But it is nowhere reaches the magnitude of the tobacco problem. We have about 450,000 people killed a year by tobacco use and about 100,000 by alcohol. So the fact that very few people are addicted in the first place, and the second thing is there are many alcohol is not a good situation. I think it is promoted to kids in a horrible way also.
Yeah.
But it is also a medicine. It is a drug. Or the alcohol is regulated. There's a license on alcohol, which we don't have on cigarettes. Even though cigarettes are much worse and kill many more people, the tobacco companies have arranged it over the years to keep themselves immune to all the FDA and all regulations.
They could, if they so desired, juice the nicotine level anytime they felt like it.
Oh, they could drop it whenever they want. They could drop it just like Coca-Cola drops caffeine.
Dr. Tom Peterson, thank you very much for being with us. Very enlightening. Thanks to all of you who called in. And Charlie, we're sorry you were next on the list. We didn't have time to get to you. So thank you, everybody. And now stay tuned for Rick Albin and Susan Shaw.
Thanks, Tom. Coming up next on News 8 at 5:30, Jack Kevorkian strikes again despite the controversy over another suicide he attended. We'll have a live report.
It's back to school, and for some retailers, that means a hike in return fraud. We'll tell you what it is and how it's costing you money.
Plus, here comes the bride, or the groom, or is it the bride? We'll straighten out some of those questions surrounding Dennis Rodman's strange wedding. These stories, plus Warren Reynolds' Positively Michigan.
Coming up next on News 8 at 5:30.
Presenting blockbuster video value packs, starring movies, your favorite soft drinks and popcorn in Take 1, Take 2, and Take 3. Take home a blockbuster video value pack, now playing at a Blockbuster near you.
One man has a vision of the future, another dreams of living in the past. Both men are dangerous, but only one of them can stop the 12 monkeys. Bruce Willis, Madeline Stowe, Brad Pitt. From MCA Universal Home Video, rated R. Rent it tonight.
This phony lawyer conned many, but could he keep himself out of jail? Watch Inside Edition.
Tonight at 7:30 on Wood TV 8.
Have you heard the news? It's back. That's right, the Double Deluxe from Hot and Now. It's back for only 99 cents. 2 juicy patties with all your favorite fixins. Double beef. Double value. Now just 99 cents at Hot and Now.
What are you waiting for? Dive into your favorite Hot Now items anytime. We're open late, day or night, Hot Now.
Now, prices are falling on all mattresses during Art Van Sealy factory-authorized Posturepedic sale. Save 30 to 55% on all Sealy mattresses, including Posturepedic styles, and get instant rebates up to $200, but only while quantities last. Save 1/2 on the Sealy Posturepedic Queen Set, now just $377, our lowest price ever. Plus, Mattress Express guarantees next-day delivery or your mattress is free. We'll even pick up your old mattress free. For the lowest prices ever on Sealy Posturepedic, hurry into Art Van now.
Live from Wood TV8, West Michigan's news leader, Susan Shaw, Larry Nienhaus, meteorologist Craig James, and Warren Reynolds. This is 24-hour News 8.
Jack Kevorkian assists in another suicide just a day after police began investigations in another suicide where the patient was not terminally ill. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rick Albin.
And I'm Susan Shaw. This is suicide number 36, and it only turns up the heat in a controversy that's been burning around Kevorkian's work this week. Susan Samples is in the Satellite Center with details on what's happening. Susan?
Sue, a woman from Texas is Dr. Jack Kevorkian's 36th assisted suicide patient. Pontiac Osteopathic Hospital. It's getting to be a familiar sight. For the third week in a row, Kevorkian brought an assisted suicide patient here, a 76-year-old woman from McKinney, Texas.
She was evaluated in the trauma center and pronounced at 22:11, 11 minutes after 10 o'clock. The ME was notified and usual protocol was carried out, and she was taken to the ME's office.
Kevorkian's attorney identified the woman as Louise Siebens. He said she suffered from Lou Gehrig's disease, wore a neck brace, and couldn't move her arms or legs.
She had been a church typist, and she was brought by her daughter, Ginny, and her son-in-law, Jerry Burnett, here to Michigan.
This latest assisted suicide comes less than a week after a controversial case. 42-year-old Judith Curran of Massachusetts died in the care of Kevorkian. She reportedly suffered from chronic fatigue and a disorder of the immune system. But speaking on yesterday's Today Show, the medical examiner said she was not terminally ill.
But there was simply no evidence of significant disease process affecting this lady. The controversy that came out is out of the protagonist's heads. That's the only controversy that I see here. They just wasted a 42-year-old woman for nothing, and now they're trying to cover it up.
Kevorkian's attorney calls those remarks preposterous. Jeffrey Feiger says the medical examiner thinks that assisted suicide is a sin and is lying about the medical records to try and discredit Jack Kevorkian. We're live in the Satellite Center. Susan Samples, News 8.
Okay, thanks, Susan.
The Warren couple accused of forcing their 6-year-old twins to fight each other while being videotaped have been released from jail. Gary and Talisa Downs still face child abuse and extortion charges, but they'll get weekly supervised visits with their kids now that they've been released from jail. The couple had been in jail since May after a relative turned over the videotape to police. The man accused of murdering his girlfriend in a Calhoun County home was back in court again this afternoon. You'll remember John Keogh was arrested earlier this month after one of the largest manhunts in state history. Tom Warbeck was at Kehoe's preliminary examination today. He joins us live now from our Battle Creek newsroom. Tom, what happened?
Well, Rick, John Kehoe and his attorney will spend the next month or so reviewing hundreds of pages of police reports which were collected during this 3-year-long investigation. The move comes after Ingham County prosecuting attorney Don Martin presented the defense with a 3-inch packet of case material. Kehoe is charged with the 1993 slaying of his girlfriend, Rose Larner. No weapon or body has ever been found, but police believe Kehoe killed Larner inside a home near Albion. John Kehoe's preliminary exam has been rescheduled for September 18th. Meanwhile, John Kehoe's brother, Tim, who has been charged as an accessory to Larner's murder, also made an appearance in court. His preliminary exam has been delayed until September 26th. Tim Kehoe remains free on bond. but could spend the next 5 years behind bars if found guilty of the accessory charge. We're live in the Battle Creek newsroom. Tom Warbeck, News 8.
All right, Tom, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
President Clinton has signed a bill that could make it easier for you to get health care. The new law keeps insurance companies from denying you health care because of a pre-existing condition. It allows you to take your insurance with you from one employer to another, and it increases the health insurance tax deduction for people who are self-employed.
This bill is a clear boost to our values as Americans. It offers opportunity by allowing people to take their health insurance from job to job. It rewards responsibility by helping people to work who desperately want to work. It brings us together in a common community to do what's right by all of our people, saying that we ought to make it possible for more and more people to succeed at work without losing the security of knowing that when they need health care, it'll be there.
Both Republicans and Democrats want to take credit for the new law.
Chechen refugees are trying to get out of the capital of Grozny as Russian troops wage a full-scale assault a day before they said they would. Explosions are rocking the capital. The city is desolate while refugees crowd the road leading out. A Russian general urged refugees to leave, guaranteeing their safety, but the refugees are running right into artillery attacks. And it's not clear who's calling the shots in Russia. President Boris Yeltsin has been absent amid rumors of poor health.
Vice President Al Gore visited the same Kentucky Veterans of Foreign Wars Hall where GOP candidate Bob Dole spoke yesterday. He reaffirmed America's commitment to its veterans and acknowledged the VFW's endorsement of Bob Dole, but he warned the audience not to accept Republican rhetoric at face value, but to question how cuts are to be paid for. Reform Party presidential nominee Ross Perot is scheduled to speak at the VFW convention tomorrow. Meantime, Bob Dole has a few more days of campaigning left before taking some time off for a little R&R. Campaign aides say Dole will vacation in Southern California during next week's Democratic National Convention. Yesterday, he addressed the veterans gathering in Louisville. The GOP nominee does not plan to let President Clinton have all the spotlight during the convention. Aides say Dole will make public appearances during his vacation. Reform Party candidate Ross Perot says his former boss at IBM, James Campbell, will be his stand-in running mate. Campbell says he's doing Perot a favor until a vice presidential candidate is picked. In 1992, Perot's interim pick, retired Admiral James Stockdale, became his running mate when several others turned down the job.
Detroit Mayor Dennis Archer, a personal and political friend of President Clinton, will give the speech next week that seconds Clinton's nomination for re-election. Archer co-chaired the Democratic Party Platform Committee. And a reminder, our coverage of the Democratic National Convention starts Sunday night. Tom Van Houw will report live from Chicago.
ValueJet won't be taking to the skies as it had hoped. According to reports, the airline will not get FAA approval to resume passenger flights by Friday. The airline is again today flying proving runs to show the Federal Aviation Administration and the Department of Transportation that it is indeed fit to fly. ValueJet voluntarily grounded itself after the FAA found problems in the airline's maintenance program. That was after the May crash in the Everglades that killed 110 people. We have some breaking news to tell you about tonight. There is apparently a gasoline truck that is on fire on eastbound I-96. You're looking at pictures right now. A lot of black smoke billowing into the air. We have a crew headed to the scene. It's on the downtown Grand Rapids overpass. We will have more for you coming up on News 8 at 6.
All right. Thank you, Susan. The Globe Theater made its debut during Shakespeare's heyday, and now it is a race against the clock to save its $50 million reopening. The phrase break a leg didn't mean good luck for an actor during dress rehearsal of Two Gentlemen of Verona. The actor literally broke his leg during dress rehearsal, and now managers are racing to find a replacement. Opening night is Saturday.
And coming up on your 24-hour News 8, will there be a wedding for the wild one? We'll bring you up to date.
And is Miss Universe too fat for her crown, or is it all a big mistake? Details in tonight's People Watch.
But first, Craig James has a preview of the forecast out there. Hi, Craig.
Well, good evening, guys. It is warm out here in western Michigan this evening, and there are some showers and thunder showers close. We'll take a look in just a couple minutes.
Because inline skates are not considered appropriate footwear for gym class. You need a 13-hour sale. Hudson's 13-hour sale. Starts Thursday, ends Thursday.
Discover New York Carpet World's absolute best savings offer. Carpet installation free. Yes, any residential carpet installed free. You could save hundreds of extra dollars. Carpet for several rooms, a whole house, we'll install it free. Any brand, style, or color, we'll install it free. Every carpet we carry, we'll install it free. Discover the world of New York Carpet World and shop now for carpet installation free.
My mama told me you better shop around. Oh yeah, you better shop around.
Looking for a neat way to organize your TV, VCR, and stereo components? Oak Express has a tremendous selection of Oak Entertainment Centers in stock and ready to take home today. The Mead with lots of storage space is an unbelievable $159. The West Point with leaded glass door is just $299. Add an Oak TV swivel anywhere in your home for just $14.50. Oak Express in Grand Rapids, Battle Creek, and Portage.
Why is now the best time to lease a new Chevy or Geo? Because with any 24-month GMAC Smart Lease, get a Delco 10-disc CD changer, no extra charge. It's the Chevy Summer Sell Down at your West Michigan Chevy dealers. It's the perfect time to save on Chevy S-Series. Just $10,374 after $600 cash back. And when you Smart Lease your new Chevy or Geo, you can get a Delco 10-disc CD changer, no extra charge. But time really does fly. So get to your West Michigan Chevy dealers now.
Well, good evening, everyone. It is evening here in Western Michigan. Temperatures did make it to near 90 in parts of the viewing area today, but nothing at all like what happened in North Carolina back in 1983 on the 21st of August. Fayetteville, south central part of that state, hit 110. That's the warmest temperature the state of North Carolina has ever recorded. We're a long way from that, fortunately, today. But let's take a look at today's highs and lows. Temperature, Grand Rapids, one of the coolest readings around anywhere at 84. Average is 80, 65 this morning, so you can see we're well above normal during the day today. Our record high of 97 in 1955 and 42 back in 1940. Precipitation-wise, we've had none today. Our rainfall for the month at the Kent County Airport only 0.15 of an inch, one of the many spots around West Michigan that has still not seen much in the way of any rain. That's 2 full inches below normal, so they could certainly use some more. And some areas over towards Grand Haven, portions of Ottawa County, still very, very dry indeed. But let's take a look at our high temperatures today from our automated weather stations. 90 at Kalamazoo and Battle Creek. Even Holland, West Ottawa Middle School made it to 90 degrees this afternoon. And for a while, the winds were out of the south and southeast, so many temperatures along the lake were certainly quite warm. Coolest readings off in the northeastern portion of the viewing area. Now, there have been some showers and thunderstorms close by. This morning there were some dissipating showers down in Indiana and Ohio, but as we put this loop into motion, you can see some thunderstorms tried to form in northern Illinois, dissipated, and then a lot more have now developed. Some heavier ones off to the southeast of South Bend. About 2 inches of rain has fallen, according to Next Red Radar reports, southeast of South Bend right now. And if you look very closely, you can see a couple of little green dots there, just southeast and south of Holland. There are a few showers there, Kalamazoo rather, there are a few showers there now. More thunder showers, though, developing in southern Wisconsin and eastern Iowa. These are moving northeast. Certainly a possibility we could catch 1 or 2 of those late tonight. Most significant thunderstorms up in northern Minnesota, though, and there is a tornado watch out for there. That's not going to be affecting us tonight, although we could see some heavy thunderstorms here during the day tomorrow. Warm fronts now just starting to come back into the state of Michigan. That may help touch off one of these thunder showers in our area tonight. This cold front, though, will bring a better threat of some rain around here during the day tomorrow. Warm everywhere south of that front and humid too. This yellow contour representing 70-degree dew points should actually go much farther north all the way up to Green Bay and a narrow band all the way down into West Virginia along that front. So tomorrow's going to be pretty soupy around here with very high dew points too. So let's check the details for tonight. Partly cloudy. There is a chance of a thunder shower, but not till late tonight, although down south of Kalamazoo you might get a brief shower early this evening, but those will dissipate. Lows about 65 to 70. A warm night. Winds will become light and southerly. Tomorrow's outlook, variable cloud cover. There will be a few showers and thunderstorms in the area during the day. High temperature 84 to 88. Some of those could be heavy. You'll just have to stay tuned for that tomorrow. Southwest wind 10 to 18. Southwest winds on the lake tomorrow 1 to 3 feet waves. Water temps from 67 at Holland to 72 at South Haven. Right now the weekend still looks good. We'll give you the details on that at 6. Tom?
Okay, thanks, Craig. And Tom Van Houw is in the newsroom with a look at what's coming up only at 6 tonight.
Hi, guys.
Tom.
Hi, everybody. Here are a couple of the stories we've got coming up only at 6 o'clock tonight. If you close your eyes, you can actually see it. Boy Scouts gathered around a campfire singing those good old campfire songs. Well, ASCAP, the music company, is now suing those Boy Scouts for not paying up each time they sing those camp songs. Incredible, but true. Chris Halsey has the story. And we'll bring you up to date on the gasoline truck fire that's going on right now on the Ford Freeway over the Grand River. That's a live take of it from our Sky Cam. We have those stories and more coming away in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Hope you can join us.
Thanks, Tom. In People News tonight, the NBA star with the most tattoos and pierced body parts could now be a married man. Dennis Rodman announced he was getting married this afternoon at Rockefeller Center. He showed up to sign copies of his best-selling book in a horse and carriage and was definitely dressed for a wedding. Thousands of people were waiting for him at the bookstore. No one knows who walked down the aisle with him. A local paper says that Rodman popped the question last Saturday to an exotic dancer. Rodman is not confirming or denying that report.
Miss Universe is apparently being told to lose weight or lose her crown, but pageant officials say that's not true. Alicia Machado of Venezuela is denying the reports that she's eating her way out of her title of Miss Universe, but Venezuelan and American media say she's been ordered to drop 20 pounds in 2 weeks. She admits to a weakness for chocolate and pasta, but her mother says her face is swollen because she had her wisdom teeth pulled. And she started out as the Guess Jeans girl, and now Anna Nicole Smith is back in denim plus size. The former Playboy model has the starring role in a string of new commercials for plus-size clothing for Lane Bryant. Smith and several other women are in the first ad for the jeans. Lane Bryant says the ad campaign features real women instead of typical models. Well, a credit card that lets you borrow money from your 401k.
It's called a reserve account, but it may not be for everyone. More in our consumer report coming up next.
No matter how high the thermometer climbs or how sticky the humidity gets, nothing will be hotter this summer than the deals you'll get during Jeep Summer Days, where you can lease Jeep Grand Cherokee for just $299 a month, or lease Cherokee Sport for $219 a month, including no-charge air. And get deals that are truly steamy on the all-new Jeep Wrangler. But you'd better hurry in, because deals this incredibly hot are bound to cool down fast.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
For a forecast with flavor, watch Terry DeVore's Weather Cafe, Thursdays at noon on 24-hour News 8.
Every day, buying doesn't like no one else.
They're quick, they're easy, and they're really good. I can come in here before I go to work and get some donuts. Tastes good.
Buy a 16-ounce package of Eckrich regular or thick-sliced meat bologna, except beef. Get a second package free. Sweet peaches, nectarines, and plums are 78 cents a pound.
Someday when I have kids, I plan on giving these to my children.
Buy lower prices, on top of lower prices, every day.
This year, Lauren Wilson took her first step toward medical school. Erica Diaz started a career in business. Joey Taylor began work on his first book. And the 55th President of the United States delivered her first speech. By starting with the basics today, public schools make everything possible tomorrow. Public education works.
The final markdowns are going on now on all outdoor furniture during Wise's final summer clearance sale. Save 50% and more on every umbrella set, chair, and table. They all have to go to make room for Wise's upcoming sale on newly arrived wicker and rattan. If you've been waiting for the right price on beautiful outdoor furniture, shop Wise's now and save 50% or more during Wise's final summer clearance sale on Lake Eastbrook Boulevard just south of 29th Street. Wise's, known for quality for 29 years.
We have an update for you on that gas truck that is burning on the overpass of I-96 in downtown Grand Rapids. If we could go to that live report, or that live picture. Okay. We don't have the live pictures, but we do know that one of the gas tanks on the truck has exploded. The second one has not. That holds 8,000 gallons of fuel. Again, it's happening on the eastbound I-96 overpass in downtown Grand Rapids. We have a crew on the scene. We'll have a live report for you coming up at 6 o'clock.
Sue, thanks. There was a little surprise tucked away in the new minimum wage bill signed into law yesterday. Relief for big spenders. Along with the 90-cent per hour minimum wage hike comes a phase out of the 10% tax on luxury cars. Many experts had claimed the extra tax sent luxury car sales down the tubes. More shoppers are buying products with no intention of keeping them. It's called boomerang buying, and it's got retailers seeing red. Return fraud is when customers buy something to use for a short time, then return it for a full refund. And people who do it are becoming more bold, buying a computer, for example, for a semester of college, or furniture for a few months. And it could end up costing retailers billions of dollars a year.
You wouldn't want to buy a dress that someone else had worn. So depending on exactly how it's returned, the condition it's in, but generally retailers do not sell reused merchandise for full price.
Retailers plan to get tough with their return policies, and one way to do it is to put big noticeable tags on merchandise and not allow anything to be returned without that tag.
There's been a lot of talk recently about 401k plans and what companies are doing to get workers more involved in saving for retirement. But there's one company plan geared to 401ks that both employers and workers should definitely steer clear of.
Welcome. You're about to hear about a revolutionary type of participant loan.
This Bank One video is really meant for employers. Bank One is hoping its new One Reserve account that allows workers to dip into their 401ks using a credit card or convenience checks will get snapped up by companies willing to offer it to workers.
I've always wanted to contribute more to my retirement savings, but I'm living from paycheck to paycheck as it is.
As enticing as it may be for younger workers, Kiplinger editor Melinda Wilcox says this is one idea that most employers won't buy.
They've set up this plan for people to save for retirement. The last thing that employers want to do is give employees a kitty for charging their groceries every week. So I borrow money when I need it and then pay myself back the full prime rate.
What Bank One is banking on is the fact that people already borrow from their 401k. Ken Reagan used money from his retirement plan to get his kids through college and to buy a new home. But, says Wilcox, the new Bank One plan is just not as good a deal.
The interest rate is very likely going to be much higher than the interest rate currently on plan loans, which is about 1% over the prime.
Do you mean I can access my One Reserve account whenever I need it?
The kinds of things that you would pay for with a credit card are not the kinds of things that you want to use your 401k plan for, because that money really is earmarked for a special purpose and not for your next meal out.
Bank One is hoping to make the first 401k credit cards available by January, but the IRS, which oversees 401k plans, is now looking into the legality of the credit plan itself. And while the Department of Labor has given Bank One the go-ahead, it has also sent a letter to the company raising concerns about giving employees such easy access to their retirement savings.
That seems a little scary.
Yeah, you want to think about that before you do that.
Real hard. Coming up next on your 24-hour News 8.
The Road to Wellness, a West Michigan community realizes a vision of a new wellness center. Warren Reynolds shows us in Positively Michigan, coming up next.
It's model year clearance time at Harold Ziegler Lowell, and just in time, terrific cashback offers on your favorite Ford cars and trucks. Rebates available now on the most popular models, including Taurus, Contour, Ranger, and Windstar. From $600 up to $1,500 whether you buy or lease. You'll not only get the best savings and selection around, but great treatment too. We're proud to be one of only 2 dealerships in West Michigan to receive Ford's North American Customer Excellence Award. Let us exceed your expectations. Harold Ziegler Lowell, just east of Grand Rapids on M21.
Thursday morning on Daybreak, we'll take a look at a long-term construction project in Grand Rapids that's finally wrapped up, and we'll have your complete weather forecast tomorrow morning on Daybreak.
The incredible eyeglass factory, where you always get the best price in sight.
Now, buy one, get one free. When you buy one complete pair of top-quality eyeglasses from a fabulous selection for just $59.95 at the Eyeglass Factory, you get the second pair free. Think about it. 2 great pairs of eyeglasses, just $59.95. Or for just $59.95, you can get a pair of top-quality contacts from a major manufacturer. The Eyeglass Factory, always the best price in sight. Call for details and locations. Go ahead, compare.
This Wednesday, go completely wild and do not pay for 1 full year at Art Van's Wild Wednesday sale. Art Van will be closed till 4 p.m. to make additional markdowns. Then the doors open for 7 wild hours of 25 to 70% savings store-wide. Plus, save an extra 20% off the sale price of all floor samples. All with no down payment, no interest, and no payments for 1 full year. Don't miss Wild Wednesday.
We do all you.
Lincoln Reward Days, designed for those whose timing, like their taste, is impeccable. Right now, your Lincoln dealer is offering the most impressive savings of 96. Choose Lincoln Town Car, a Consumer's Digest Best Buy, even better at only $4.49 a month. Or Lincoln Continental, also just $4.49 a month. See your Lincoln dealer today for best values and selection, and make your finest investment of the year during Lincoln Reward Days. Lincoln, what a luxury cars should be.
Lakeview is about to get a brand new wellness center.
It is a dream that got its start a few years ago with the help from lots of people.
Lots and lots of people. Our focus today on Positively Michigan is that dream from Lakeview, which becomes a reality later this week. Kelsey Community Wellness Center in Lakeview becomes a reality this week, a dream of Bobby Behringer and some others in that community with lots of local help and a block grant that made it happen.
This used to be a car dealership, and it has an interesting history. There's 4 generations of the Youngman family who did business from here, and we're very fortunate that they thought the type of things that we wanted to accomplish in this building were good things and valuable to the community. So we were quite relieved that they thought this was a great next step. So it's been a 2-year project. And we started with the paperwork and worked with the Village of Lakeview and the board at Kelsey Hospital and many others to put this package together. And we're very successful with that. What I think is interesting is for a hospital of this size, it's unorthodox. You know, there's 1,100 people in Lakeview, and it's a small hospital in a rural community saying, we want to change the doors on health care and provide some leadership to preventative care and help people help themselves, give them the tools and the resources to become part of their own self-care ring. We're opening on August 26th to the community, and we're going to start that celebration with a party on August 24th from 6 to 9:30 here in the parking lot.
Lakeview is a town of 1,100, but the Wellness Center hubs an area with 20,000. So Bobby anticipates big business, the wellness business, and she says it should boom.
This area that you see right here, we kind of call it mission control. We have a marketing operations person in here, an exercise physiologist. One of our concepts is we have a menu of services, and that we help you help yourself and help people build accountability within healthcare. We're bringing them out of the old dependency where we recommend, prescribe, and treat, but give them the tools and the resources to make good decisions about their health. What we're doing is sharing expertise within the community, the businesses, the schools, the banks, the churches.
From Lakeview, home of the Kelsey Community Wellness Center, I'm Warren Reynolds for Positively Michigan.
All kinds of stuff going on
It
there.
could work for me, she said, if I stayed up there for a couple of months. You know, you do feel better after you get on one of those bicycles.
Absolutely. Great concept.
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks, Warren.
Thanks, Warren. Thanks for joining us on News 8 at 5:30.
News 8 at 6 is next.
Referring to tobacco companies as merchants of death, Attorney General Frank Kelly filed suit today against them all.
I'm Dawn Picken. Charter schools are changing the face of education. What makes them so popular in West Michigan?
I'm Chris Halsney. The Songwriters Union is asking groups like the Girl Scouts to pay for the right to sing certain songs around the campfire.
Cherry County Playhouse in Muskegon. We bring Broadway to you. Don't miss Noel Harrison, star of London and Broadway stage, in the season finale production of Camelot. There is no musical to match this epic of the story of King Arthur's court. Call to reserve tickets today.
Come on, and let me show you where it's at. Come on, a brand new Ford is in your grasp. Come on, you'll only find these deals at the Greater Michigan Ford deal. I like it like that.
You'll really like Ford's factory authorized clearance. Choose Ford Explorer and save over $1,400. It receives the highest overall rating for sport utilities. Or get $900 cash back on a new 96 Escort.
Come on, you'll always find great deals at your Greater Michigan Ford dealer. I like it like that.
It all
began 100 years ago, and today one of America's finest home furnishing stores celebrates its renown for style with the Centennial Summer Sale. Save now on Klingman's collection of Durham's authentic heritage designs, made for today's living. Discover the distinction and delights of Durham furniture now. Get in the rhythm of famous names for less at the store you'll remember for life. Klingman's of Grand Rapids at Eastbrook Mall.
While every other cereal is busy telling you how cheap they are, Chex would like to take a moment to remind you how good we are. We know that's a different approach, but then nothing else is a Chex.
Live from Wood TV8, West Michigan's news leader, Suzanne Jihar, Tom Van Howe, meteorologist Craig James, and Jack Doles with sports. This is 24